Well, everyone, welcome to World at War Comics. My next special guest, Mr. Osy Ikhile. Osy, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm very excited to talk to you, man. You have quite the eclectic and amazing background for you to end up in comic books, man. So I think we have a lot to talk about because you've been
Yeah.
in some pretty major projects from a TV and film standpoint. But before we get into that, man, I'm hoping that you're doing well this week.
I am. I'm doing great. I really can't complain. Obviously, the comic came out yesterday, and yeah, it's really exciting. It's already had like 600 downloads on the first issue, which I'm told is weird in a
Yeah.
good way. So I'm just really grateful, feeling optimistic for the future of We Who Remain and Shadow Crown. Yeah.
No, absolutely. When I saw it was like a little over 800 now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or at least views. Like people have opened it up and
Oh,
read
got you,
it.
got
So,
you.
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
853, I think you're at, which is
Ooh.
crazy in a day, man.
That's insane. Yeah, yeah.
You'll hit a
I'm just
thousand by the end
grateful.
of the week, man.
That'd be cool too, man. That'd be cool. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations, because that is pretty
Thank you.
amazing as an indie
Thank you.
creator,
Yeah.
jumping in on a title like this. And then it was very unique how you launched it through Global Comics. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. You're kind of doing
Yeah.
things differently, and obviously it's in a good way because you got a lot of views of it. But
Yeah.
it's not the normal path for an indie creator. So I want to talk a little bit about that if you're okay.
Yeah, sure.
Right on. So I got to ask, man, all your success in some big time film and TV, Black Mirror, Jurassic Park, like you've done a whole lot of stuff. Why comics, and what was that transition like? Like, when did you
Yeah.
decide, like, you know what, I'll probably still do this, but I really want to jump into comic books?
Okay. I feel like I have to say as a disclaimer, the Jurassic Park 3 is a video game. So I only voiced that. I wasn't in the film. If anybody's looking for me, you ain't gonna
Yeah,
find me in the film.
fair enough, but still a big deal,
um,
man. Still a
yeah,
big deal.
I appreciate that, man. And I'm really grateful for my career. It's how I pay the bills. I'm very fortunate. And one of the perks of being an actor full time is that in between jobs, I have a lot of time on my hands to either do nothing, or if you're like me and you need to keep creatively fulfilled, you pivot and you do something else in between. So, to answer your question, the way We Who Remain started and Shadow Crown started, I last year in between seasons, I was on this TV show. I am on this TV show called All American. The final season's about to come out in July, I believe. So when we were in between filming seasons, I just wanted to write. I draw a lot as well, but something in me just wanted to write a bunch of stuff. So I wrote short films. I wrote like treatments for films, pilots for TV shows, just writing just to exercise my creativity. I did an exercise where the parameters were, what would you write if you had all the budget in the world, no restraints, and you could do all of the fantastical things that are bubbling up in your mind. So I took some characters that I drew years ago and I put them together into this world, and I created We Who Remain, the first iteration, which was as a pilot for a TV show. And once it was done, I loved it so much that I didn't want it to be like every other thing that I've written, where it just kind of like sits to the side and nobody ever really sees it or nobody cares. I needed to see this through into full creation. And I thought about different mediums. I thought about maybe doing a short film, and that didn't really work because it's fantastical. There's sci-fi, there's fantasy, and I wanted to visually see all of that. And I pivoted to comic books because I'd been a comic book fan since before I was even acting. I remember in the 90s, I was watching Spider-Man and the original X-Men series, even X-Men Evolution, I really messed with. And as soon as they were done every Saturday morning, I wanted to carry on, like, seeing or reading their stories. And that's when I first started picking up comic books and getting exposed to that kind of world. And that love kind of never really died. So I believe I was sitting, and there was the hard copy of House of X sitting right in front of me. And I was like, ooh, maybe this could be a dope comic. So I reformatted it. I changed some stuff. I took away some characters, and I turned it into this first issue. Basically, I found Mark Marvida via a friend who was also working with Mark on his comic, and we just started cooking. And yeah, now we're here, 800 downloads later.
That's
Yeah,
absolutely insane, man. Now,
yeah.
when you were putting your comic book together and thinking about how to get it in front of everybody, a lot of people use a crowdfunding site, Kickstarter,
Mm.
Starter, Indiegogo, one of those type. Did you ever consider going that route first from a physical standpoint?
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about it, but the way that my the way that my life is set up as an actor, I don't have control over how much free time I have. I could have an audition next week and then be in Atlanta on Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't have the time to wait for a Kickstarter campaign and then to wait for funds to come in and then all this kind of stuff. And I really didn't want to answer to anybody. I really wanted to make this for myself and it be the most authentic thing I can make without having to worry about too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't really know how Kickstarter works, but I just assume that like there's a lot of people you gotta like impress and stuff. So I thought if I just dive head first and front the bill to pay for the artist myself, to pay for the marketing and all that, like out of my own pocket, then I only really have to answer to myself, you know. And I feel as though if I approach it from an authentic way, then people will resonate, and if they don't, then that's no big deal either, you know. At least I created something and I did it off my own back, you know, without having to please the masses, as it were. So yeah, I didn't go the Kickstarter route. I went full, let me just throw everything I've got at it and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, man. I love that. I will say, Kickstarter, you're still on your own. There's no one helping you at Kickstarter. So,
Oh, for real?
yeah, yeah, you're definitely on your own. Trust me.
Maybe maybe I'll do that for the back half then. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very time consuming because you have to build
yeah,
out your page and everything. You got to set
yeah,
up like rewards and covers, and so
right.
it does take some labor. But yeah, you're a one man show. Trust me on Kickstarter. So
Okay,
and then
fair,
obviously
fair.
the marketing and everything to get the Kickstarter out there, so that way backers find it and all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
it certainly is a route. And after we get done, I'll give you another name of a like how busy you are, and because of your career and the success you've had in the acting side, there is another one called Zoop,
Okay.
ZOOP, and it functions just like Kickstarter. So what happens is Kickstarter takes a certain percent of the total that you earn. That's how you get paid. You're using their site. So it's very simple, but you got to build everything. There's a company called
Right.
Zoop, and Jordan is one of the founders of it. And it functions like that, but they set up everything for you. They just take a little bit
Oh,
bigger
okay.
cut. And then they
Okay.
actually print and they deliver everything to all the people that backed it. So it's
Oh.
very hands off. So someone like you who's got this acting career and doing a whole bunch of stuff, I'll talk to you a little bit later about that.
Yeah.
But
That could be
Jordan,
perfect. That could
oh,
be absolutely, because my thing, I think the main thing as well was that I'm really impatient,
yeah,
especially when it comes to something I'm creating. I want to get it done. I want to see it. I want to release it. I want people to see it. But that's a great shout for the second arc because I got
yeah.
ideas, man. So that's great to know.
Uh,
Yeah, definitely look into
I'm
that.
gonna help you out, my friend. I'm gonna help you out.
Appreciate that, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. In fact, let me pull it up. I'll share my screen real quick, and you can just take a look at it.
Mm,
Uh, that way, you kind of get a feel for it. But you could see that they have a lot of creators that are on here. Here's
okay.
Negative Burn, which is loaded with a bunch of amazing talent in the comic book industry. But they create all this for you. So here's the comic book.
Mm,
Here's all the different, opportunities for fans to pick up a cover, right? They buy it, and then
yeah.
once it's purchased, Zoop does everything for you. They pack it, they mail it, all that good stuff, and they just cut you a check on whatever you earned after they took whatever their percentage is. I can't remember off the top of my head what their percentage is. It's a little bit higher, obviously, than Kickstarter because they're doing everything for you. But for
Yeah.
someone like you, ah,
Yeah, that sounds perfect, actually. Yeah. Thank you.
and if you got
Zoop.
850 people already looking at your title in, I guess it's a little more than 24 hours, but that's insane, bro. I mean,
Yeah. It
maybe
hasn't fully like resonated with me yet, but it hasn't sunk in. But Yeah, Zupa's definitely the way to go for the second arc. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
definitely
I'll
gonna.
I'll send you Jordan's information. You can reach out whenever you're ready.
Yeah, please. Thank
But
you.
yeah, that would be cool, man. Well, it's
Yeah.
awesome, man. I mean, Sable is a dope character. Can you kind of talk about the character designs and how like this whole story came together?
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, I created the story around these characters that I drew. Little bit of a segue during COVID lockdown. I watched a lot of horror, so I was convinced that that was the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. I was not leaving my room for anybody. I was like, I'm gonna stay right here. Ain't nothing gonna get me. I'm good.
I think a
And
lot of people thought that, man.
yeah, yeah. So because I didn't have a creative outlet and I'm quite an active person as well, I couldn't go out skateboarding for the first little bit of it. I put myself through like a YouTube art school and I was just like teaching myself how to draw on my iPad and I got really into it and I really enjoyed it. It was very like meditative for me. And then the things I was drawing, because I'm such a comic fan, was just characters. And I'm an actor as well. So characters are the thing that draw me into most things. So I created I created these 8 characters, and originally it was called the Grateful Eight. And there wasn't really any story around them. They were just like different characters with these different abilities and backstories and stuff. So when it came to turning it into We Who Remain, I kind of refined all of these characters, and Sable just seemed like the best jump off point to introduce the group because it is a group story. But from a storyteller's point of view, I didn't want to just like shove these 6 people into people's faces on issue 1 and just be like, care about them, like without any kind of, entry point into the world. And I thought Sable would be the best person because she's a badass. She is loosely inspired by one of my favorite Marvel characters, Blade, who's also hybrid. Um, and it was an easy way to A, introduce people to the world, B, introduce one of the antagonists that's going to be a long-standing antagonist, and also introduce because of the future friendship, I'll say for now, that they may or may not have down the line. But Sable was the first. As for design, for all of them at the start, I wanted them to look very regular, no superheroic outfits or anything like that, because the next 2 issues, the Light Trials Part 1 and 2, are very much a transformation of everybody. Like you get to meet these guys, you get to understand who they are as people, and you get to see them evolve within the space of the next 3 issues. And the final designs are what I'm really excited to see to show people because those were fun. Those were when I had to like really just like take time to not make it too much like a Power Ranger kind of thing where it's just the same costume in different colors, but really design something that I would be proud of. And I worked with Mark Marvida on that as well. And yeah, I'm really happy with where we landed on everything.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's work definitely came through. The art is dope. And
Yeah,
as you read, especially those first few pages, there's already an action scene that jumps right out. She's not
yeah.
very well liked by like full-blooded people there. I don't
No,
want
no.
to tell too much away from the story. They all got to get over to Global Comics, which I put right here in the link. So you can click this link right here and head over there and check it out. But yeah, man, she's on a mission to get something to take care of someone, and she gets met on her way back, and things don't go so well. But man,
Yeah,
right away, man, action just jumping right off the pages.
yeah. I wanted it to be like you hit the ground running. I'm not a fan of stories that are not that not I'm not a fan of slow burns, but I didn't want this to be a slow burn. I wanted the slow burn to be the revelation of what the world is. But I wanted you to know that this is something that's going to be bloody. There's going to be action involved. There's going to be heartbreak. Everybody, like, not everybody has plot armor. Like, I wanted it to everyone to know from the jump, like, you're in for a ride, you know? And I hope that's what's been translated.
It has,
Thank
man.
you, man. Thank you.
I'm going to bring up the comic. Not that we want to give anything away or get into it, but let me at least share this cover and maybe the first page. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, cool, man. You can show like the first 2 pages if you want.
Okay, very good, man. So here's the cover. The cover looks dope. I think Mark did this as well.
Yeah, he did. We actually went back and forth a few times on this cover. Um, I don't know if anybody I don't know if anybody's clocked it, but there's an all-out inherent good and her opposite in Alara and Dahlia that are going to be introduced in the story. And if you can see in the shadow,
Mhm.
there's a little face there, and that's supposed to represent Dahlia. And the light behind them are actually a pair of eyes, which is supposed to represent Elara. Just little subtle things. Some people pick it up, some people don't. When I tell people, they're like, "Oh no, I didn't notice that." But I feel like people who look at art a lot will pick it up, but people who don't, maybe just let me explain this art to you.
Well, it's beautiful, man. And so we'll go ahead and show those first two pages. But I mean, this first page right here, the detail from Mark is insane, man. It's just
Yeah,
I don't know how long it took to do that page, but there's so much
yeah,
going on. And even the second page, right here at the top right, where Sable's walking through, yeah, looks amazing, man. And so
yeah.
where in the future, like from a timeline, I can't remember off the top of my head, where do you think it's taking place?
I I've played with the idea of it being um a future where we as humanity have destroyed the world
Mm.
and a few survivors have rebuilt it with basically either gone a very technological route or a very spiritual route. And that was what I was playing with. But then I thought, no, I don't want it to be anything to do with this earth at all. Maybe there's going to be some, similarities, but this is just a completely different place. And this is just the time that you meet them in, basically. But in later issues, you will see some similarities, but it's not supposed to be a specific time in the future or anything like that. It's just implied that there was a great war that kind of destroyed the old world. And if you want to take it as we are living in the old world, fair. Or if you want to take it as the old world is something else, that is also cool as well. Yeah, I like to let people have their own interpretations when it comes to that until I make it canon.
Yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
Talk about so obviously you've been doing acting for a very long time. You're already a writer from a script standpoint and everything that you've done. How different is that process from the process you took when you wrote this story for a comic book artist to be able to respond to and draw?
yeah, it's different. It's very different. I did a lot of research into the formatting for comic book writing versus screenwriting or theater writing. It's similar but different enough that there was a learning curve, especially with this first issue, because when you write for script, you're not necessarily writing for the audience to see what you're writing, but they will see pretty much what you're right. How can I explain it? It's less about making it descriptive and nuanced when when you're doing a comic book script, because as long as the artist understands exactly what you want to see in a panel, that's all that really matters. So where I wrote the first couple drafts of We Who Remain as a comic book script, there was still parts that were very much a screen script, if that makes sense. They were still like a little too descriptive, a little vague at points, a little poetic, which doesn't really matter if the artist doesn't know what you're trying to put on the page. So there was definitely a learning curve there. But now it is my favorite medium to write in for sure, because it's a lot easier to just put the image in my head onto the page and not have to make it like pretty to read, if that makes sense. But as soon as we did issue two and issue three, it's a well-oiled machine between me and Mark now. Yeah, we're cooking
Yeah,
and it's
I
good.
love it.
Yeah.
Was Mark able to provide a lot of feedback with his experience in the comic realm to help you um, take that story and give it to him in a way where he could, you know, comprehend it, assimilate it, and then be able to bring it out of himself in format of art?
Yeah, especially in the because we go through stages. So he'll take the script and he'll do like a sketch run of the whole book, and then I go back and I'd be like, okay, this is where I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear here. So now on the next one, I know what to write. So these sketches come out exactly how I picture them. So there was that. And then there was also another thing that I took away from that I took over from screenwriting was there was just a lot of dialogue and separating that so it's not so wordy because I remember like reading books and seeing like a lot of dialogue on a page, like a comic book, seeing a lot of dialogue on a page and just being like, yeah, I'm gonna skip that. I'm sure it was important, but I because if it's just too much, you just get a bit like so picking points where the dialogue is important and making sure that the story can be told with just the pictures and it doesn't have to be spoon fed to the audience because I'm not a fan of like obvious exposition. If there's no other way to tell the story or get the message across, then yeah, exposition is fine. But if I can avoid that at all costs, then I will because I'd rather people think, and just like come up with things like get the imagination going for themselves,
Yeah, I think that's a really good lesson to learn as you're writing a comic book too, because the art tells a large portion of the story too, right? So if you're just
Yeah.
defining lady on her knees looking at the ground at a symbol on the ground, people will be like, dude, your art's pretty telling you that, man, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I get
exactly.
it. I feel like some of the older books, like the 70s and 80s, you would get a little bit of that. And you're like,
Yeah.
man, it's so obvious from the art, man.
Yeah. But we've come a long way, man. I'm not trying to take us back. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it, man. Yeah, this is phenomenal looking, and I did get a chance to read it. So, like I said, everyone that's watching, head over there and check it out. The link's right there. I think you're going to really love this comic book. So, you certainly told us a little bit about the story, but do you have kind of an elevator pitch where fans can really understand what to expect from the title?
Yeah. If you love horror, fantasy, sci-fi, if you love post-apocalyptic and cyberpunk, and if you love a group of misfits that don't fit in anywhere else in the world, then We Who Remain is for you. It's for my misfits. Yeah. That's the best I could do, I think. Go read
I
the
think
book.
that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. So you said you definitely have a lot planned for this title. Have you already started working
Yeah.
on the next issues?
Yeah. Yeah. So issue 2 is done.
Oh wow.
Um we are gonna release that in 2 months. I want to give enough people enough time to miss it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then issue 3 is being finished at the moment. Issue 4 is completely written. I'm in the middle of issue 5 right now. The whole story is 8 issues. The first arc is 8 issues. Something happens at the end of issue 8 that's gonna it's gonna make a lot more sense as to why Shadow Crown is the name of the comic book company. And then there's going to be a lot of like one shots and spin-offs and different POVs of different characters within the world being introduced. But the first arc is going to be the first 3 books. So once issue 3 is released, that's when I think I'm gonna look into if there's enough demand for it. I'm gonna look into doing a physical copy of arc 1 of We Who Remain, and then 4 to 8 is gonna be arc 2. Um, Hopefully the whole arc will be completed by next year summertime if I release every 2 months. Yeah, something like that. But it's there's a lot of ideas that I need to, I have more ideas than I have the time to write them out and Mark to draw them, basically. Yeah.
I mean, just on average, right? An independent creator probably produces 2 issues a year. Some of them where they're only doing this and that's all they do. They've been able to create a following that allows them to do more. They'll do up to like 4 a year. That's about
Okay.
it on the indie side. So if you're planning like every 2 months to put one out, you're like
Yeah.
way ahead of the game, man. Excuse me. Yeah, you're definitely
Okay.
kicking ass when it comes to putting your title out.
That's
Obviously, if you're
amazing.
going to run through a lot of your issues through like a global comics, that makes it a little bit easier. Some of the things that slow
Mm,
people down is the Kickstarter because you have to build that yourself. And then when the
yeah.
Kickstarter ends, you have to get them printed, you have to box them yourself, ship them to everybody. Like it's,
Yeah.
I mean, we enjoy it, but it's a lot of, you got to really love comic books to put yourself through all that.
Yeah, and you gotta have the time as well. And I don't. But I did see this one. Maybe you know more about it. There's this site called or this. Instagram page I saw called Comics Wellspring. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I print my comics through
So
that.
okay, cool. Yeah. So I was thinking about doing it with them
Yeah,
when the book is ready for the first three issues.
yeah.
They do like a print on demand, right? Or I saw that they're gonna start doing that.
No, they already
Yeah.
do. So again, they kind of work with people who are working through Kickstarter. So if you have a Kickstarter
Oh,
and you could set up your page, you could get all your backers, and as soon as it ends, they will print. They'll take your list of everybody that backs your campaign, and they will print and then ship from their warehouse, so you don't have to touch anything. But you still have to build
okay.
everything out.
Okay.
Which
Maybe
I
I'll
mean,
do a Kickstarter for the book then.
yeah,
The physical book. That'll make more sense. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, as you know, in the U.S., man, we call them floppies, but floppies are every Wednesday, right? I'm in my comic book store
Yeah.
picking up that week's floppies.
Yeah.
So that's still fairly popular here. But the rest of the world, outside of Canada, Canada is very much like the U.S., but France, England, Spain, it's all trades, right? So they're
Mm,
thicker, they're like 40 to 80 pages. So you get
mm,
a little bit more meat in your story. We're starting to
yeah.
see that trend, just like manga has taken over everything around the world. We're starting to see
Yeah.
that trend from Europe come to the US, where we do have a large population of fans that wait for that trade. And the
Yeah,
trade,
I'm definitely. Maybe it's because I'm from London. That's how all my books here are. Unless it's like a one-off little. I'm at the store. Let me see what this is about.
yeah,
Most of them are going to be like trade backs.
yeah,
And with the first three issues, issue two and one of We Who Remain are about 20 something pages. The issue three is 38 pages. So all of them together, I think that's enough for like just one trade. I didn't want to overwhelm people too much.
yeah. No, I
But
couldn't
that's good
agree
to know.
more.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think trade. Yeah, I have a lot of fans or a lot of friends who write comic books that go to Comic Cons and set up their own table. And
Mm.
if they get enough issues where they have a trade, the trade is really one of the only things they're selling. Unless you're new like you, when you go, like me, I do the same thing. I go to a comic store, I'm like, well, that looks really interesting. I don't want to commit, but I'll
Yeah.
buy one now and just see how
Yeah,
it
that's it. Let me get a little taster. Let me
is.
see what it's saying.
I need a
Yeah,
sample. I need a sample.
yeah,
But I love that you chose Global Comics, man. It's an amazing platform, and
yeah.
it's growing. And now they got DC, Marvel, Image.
Mm,
They have all the big names, so it's drawing even more people to it. So, no doubt, obviously through your own marketing, but people just stumbling upon it, going, "Oh, that looks pretty dope." Um,
yeah.
yeah, as you know, art is what captures you at the beginning,
Oh,
but then the story is
100%.
what keeps you
Yeah.
coming back, right?
Exactly, exactly. And I'm grateful for Global Comics, man. I didn't because before I found Global Comics, the way that I would read digitally, if I didn't want to carry my books around, was the DC doesn't have an app anymore. I think it's Comixology. They partner with Comixology,
So
and
Comixology
then
went out of business. DC now has an app called DC. Is it Unlimited?
that's it. So DC Unlimited. But I
And then
used to
Marvel
read
has.
the Marvel Unlimited thing. So I used to read all my Marvel stuff on Marvel Unlimited, but then the app started acting really weird and it wouldn't download my comics that I paid for. So I was like, that's a bit sketchy. Not to like diss Marvel. I love Marvel, big Marvel fan.
If you don't
And
work though, it
then
don't work, right?
yeah, exactly. And then with DC, I used to read on Comixology when it was around.
Yeah.
So then when I found Global Comics, I was like, oh damn, it's got everything. Like Image, Dark Horse. It's even got like the cyberpunk stuff that I didn't even know existed. So I was stoked on that. And then to see that they really like support indie, like really grassroots, like you don't have anything and you're trying to make something and they support that. It was a no-brainer for me. I just thought, yeah, this has to be the way to go.
No doubt. I mean, they have kind of come on the scene and taken over from a digital standpoint, and I think
Yeah.
that Comixology, a lot of their fans have kind of moved over now that they're not functioning the way they used to. So, but yeah, it's an
Mm.
amazing platform, and it does a lot of really good things for someone like yourself that's
Yeah.
got a pretty
Yeah.
off and on but very busy schedule, and you just never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah. It's been perfect, man. Absolutely perfect.
That's amazing, man. Have you thought about, as you start to come out with physicals, doing some of the Comic Cons? I think you do really well there, man. Just from fans, from your acting career, because as you know, all the movie folks that go to Comic-Con are also doing really well. I feel like you would kill it at a Comic-Con, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate that honestly, but I'm one of those actors. I don't feel like I'm like gonna make any difference as an actor at Comic Con. Like I don't. I feel like I could just walk through Comic Con and nobody would really know what's going on. You know, I don't think I'm there yet. But if I was to bring the book to Comic Con, I'd have to see like a significant interest, you know, maybe on the socials or something. I don't know, to make it worth it. Otherwise, I just wait until I have the full arc done and then go to Comic Con. And then set up a table or whatever when I have more to show instead of just 3 issues. I wanna go there with a lot, you know. And I've never been to the San Diego Comic Con before. I've only ever been to MCM in London, and that was amazing. My thing was like, obviously coming from an actor's point of view, I wanted the first time I go to San Diego Comic Con to be with a project or something. Like if James Gunn called me or Kevin Feige called me for something, that'd be dope. I'm available. But yeah, I definitely go there with We Who Remain and Shadow Crown if the next year is what I hope it's gonna be for the book.
Yeah, no, that'd be amazing. From an actor's standpoint, being a comic book fan, do you kind of reach out to like Marvel and DC for those opportunities, or do you wait for them to reach out to you? Like, how does that even work, man? You put your name out there and going, "Hey, if something comes up, I'm here. I would love to be in one of those."
I think it's different for actors at different stages. I'm very much just like a jobbing actor, like a lot of actors are. We just go from job to job. We can still go to CVS and nobody would bother us, like that kind of actor. Um, so for someone at my stage, it's very much if they're casting something, my agent will put my name in the ring with the casting director. If the casting director thinks I fit the role, then they'll give me an audition. And if the first one goes well, I have a callback. If that goes well, I have a test. If that goes well, then I'll have a role. I think the only Marvel projects I've ever auditioned for are Doctor Strange. That was to play one of his doctor friends. No powers involved.
Yeah.
And then
You don't have to tell anybody
DC.
that, though, man. You don't
No,
have
no,
to.
no, because this is fun for me.
Okay.
DC, because I like to audition and forget about them, so it's nice just to remember what I completely missed out on.
Yeah. Sorry to bring it up,
um,
bro.
no, it's cool, it's cool. I passed on an audition for the CW Flash, even though I loved that show. Um, it was towards the end, and it wouldn't have been a character that like I would have loved to play. Um, and then the Eternals as well. I auditioned and had a callback for that, and I was told that I was down to the last few for the role that Barry Keoghan got.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know, but it was a fun audition. I haven't been seen for anything else since. But I've been quite busy as well, so maybe it's also about timing as well. I feel. But I'd love to do something with James Gunn. I love what he's doing with the DC universe. I'm very excited for Lanterns, despite what all the people are saying online about the teaser trailer. I'm stoked. I can't
yeah.
wait. I can't wait to
I'm
see
gonna,
it.
Lanterns is my favorite comic book of all time. I'm a big Green Lantern fan, and so
Mm,
you when you read all the comic books, or a lot of them, I should say, you certainly could nitpick a lot of different things. I'm waiting for it to come out before I make my judgment, so I'm not gonna
yeah.
say anything. The trailer's just 70 seconds or 80 seconds, right?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that it's really good.
I
Again,
think it will be. I think it's
I
gonna
think so.
be a surprise for people.
Yeah, I hope so.
I
I
think
mean,
I think it's
if you
gonna be
look at
like Penguin.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Penguin was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
surprise. I was like, what are they doing?
yeah.
They're making a show that's not even superhero. One of the best series I've seen, even if it wasn't
Yeah,
comic
exactly.
related.
I did not care about that character whatsoever. And then I watched the show and I was blown away, like elevated. And I think they're gonna do the same thing with Lanterns, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's gonna be great.
I'm optimistic, man. Like I said, I try to wait to watch. I mean, it's kind of weird to shit on something when you've only seen 60 seconds of a
Yeah,
season. So I'm like, I'll wait, man. And I'm not much of a
yeah,
guy that kind of craps on things, anyways. I try to stay on the positive side. If I don't like it, I just don't
yeah.
talk about it, But
I'm
um,
exactly the same way, man. Like, if you look at my letterbox, it is just all positive reviews because if I didn't like it, I'm not gonna waste more time on it. Like,
exactly, that's how I feel. And also, I don't want to influence someone that maybe saw me say something,
yeah,
and that could have been written for them. It just wasn't
yeah,
right for me. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
exactly.
it's their own, man. If
Yeah.
you like it, great, man. I have no problem with that. Just
We
didn't.
have the exact same temperament when it comes to that, man. I'm not gonna spoil it for you if you loved it. Like, I'm not gonna make you feel bad for loving something, you know?
Exactly. I mean, life's too short, bro, and I'm getting old, man.
Yeah,
So it's getting
I
shorter and
feel you.
shorter, man. So I'm not gonna waste my energy. Yeah,
I
right.
feel
We're
you,
all a
man.
vessel, right? We can only hold so much in our vessel, man. I'm not gonna put that much negativity into it. I,
Exactly. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's awesome. Jose. Well, I love the comic, man. I cannot wait to get more of it. Um, Obviously, being in acting for so long. How many years have you been doing acting?
I am 37. I'm 38 this year. I started professionally acting, like getting paid to act when I was 18, 19. So like 18, 19 years, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't do math. That's why I'm an actor. But yeah, something like that.
you're a veteran at this point, right, in the
Oh, I
industry.
don't know about that. I still feel like I'm a sophomore in this, man. I got a
Really?
lot more years to put in. And I'm still learning, I'm still growing. That never ends, you know? So I'm still very much a student, I
Yeah.
feel.
But 20 years
Yeah.
of experience, man, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm also somebody that likes to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm very like now. Like
Mhm.
tomorrow isn't guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yesterday's done. Like, so it doesn't really, I think that's what helps me keep me very grounded. You know, I've met a few people who get like one or two jobs and it like all goes to their heads and stuff. And I never wanted to be that kind of person. So I think just staying present, staying grateful, staying a student of this creativity has just kept me just focused. And yeah, 20 years is crazy to think about, but yeah, to me, I'm just grateful it's another day that I get to say I'm an actor, you know?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, just looking at all the work that you've done, and all the things that you've touched, do you have a favorite from an acting standpoint that you've done?
Yeah, yeah, that's easy. There's two for two different reasons. Black Mirror,
Yeah.
obviously the first one. USS Callister was an absolute dream, and then coming back and being the first episode to have a sequel was just an absolute honor as well. So getting to do that twice, 7 years apart, and most people coming back, it was a dream come true. I love that show. I was a fan before I even got cast in it, and that's rare. That's really rare because I watch a lot of stuff. So getting cast as a fan in the thing that you're a fan of is so rare. But it's only happened to me twice, and that
Wow.
is Black Mirror and the show that brought me to America, which is All American.
Yeah.
So again, it was just an honor to come and do that and be on it for 2 seasons. I've never done anything like it before, so I'm grateful to both of those shows, man. They have been an absolute blessing, for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, now that you have this title, and again, I loved how you explained why maybe comics is the best avenue for this story. But is the
Mm.
dream that one day to either bring it into animation or film? I feel like film would be really expensive just because of the storyline, but animation would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Um, that's a great question. And I will say that I wrote Die so I could play him one day.
Ah,
1,000,000%. And I wrote him older because I'm like I was very strategic
yeah,
in the Die. And I think a live action, actually, I think animation would be great if it was like a studio who did Cyberpunk Edge Runners, something
it
like
has to
that.
be. It has to
Oh,
be. Yeah, it
that
has
would
to be.
be incredible. And I feel like a TV show would work as well. Just because of tech how special effects have gotten so good
Yeah.
over the years that you can have a show like Monarch,
Mhm.
Legacy of Monsters. 20 years ago, that show would not look as good as it does right now. That looks like straight out of the cinema. Like it looks good. The special effects don't look like, oh, I'm watching TV. So I think like we're at a place where you can do um digestible and very impressive special effects in sci-fi and fantasy and horror on the small screen. And I feel as though We Who Remain is very character driven. When it comes to like groups in film,
Mhm.
you don't have enough time to fall in love with these characters and care about them. You know, for example, Dungeons and Dragons. That film was incredible. I loved it, but I loved that shit. So of course I'd love it. But for the general public, I don't think there was enough time to care about each one of those characters. You know, the reason Avengers worked and Joss Whedon's Justice League didn't work was because that was all rushed and Avengers took their time and introduced you to each character, you know? So
Good point.
from my acting world point of view, I feel as though animation 100% and TV show 100% and film if the TV show slash animation does really well and people care about it already. And I have to play die, obviously.
Have to. You have to, man.
Have to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Chris. I'll
Oh,
say
thanks,
congrats on
Chris.
your acting career and comic. I'm currently working on my first comic, Tommy. I really enjoyed
Dope.
Kingsville 3. It's heating up. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Sick. Wait,
Awesome.
Kingsville's your thing?
Yeah, Kingsville's my comic. Yeah.
Dope. Oh man, I gotta read it, man. It's on Global Comics, right?
It is. Yeah, but I'll send it to you on like PDF or something like that. Way you don't
Oh,
have to.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll send you. I'll send you issue two as well. Don't say nothing. I'll send you
Okay.
issue two.
Fair deal, my friend. Fair deal, man.
Yeah, nice swap there. Little trade.
Actually, if you send me an address where you want it shipped, I'll send you the physical copy so you can have them, man.
I will snap. Yeah, that'd be cool,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
We'll talk
That'd
after,
be
bro.
dope.
I'll hook you up,
Yeah,
man.
for
Thank you,
sure.
Chris. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, man. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for you, bro. I mean, the first comic book to see it come to life like that on pages, man. Like, is there a similarity to where? Because when you're acting, I'm assuming you don't have the visual of what it's going to look like when it's on the screen, right?
No,
It's
no,
probably
no, no.
probably really weird, right? The fake backgrounds and or maybe a green screen. Then when you see it on
Yeah.
screen, you see it come to life. There's got to be a lot of joy to see you in that situation. No?
Oh, you're gonna hate this answer. I'm one of those. I don't know if you've heard of these, but like there's two camps of actors, right?
Okay.
There's the actor that loves watching their work and can learn and grow from that. And then there's the actor, which is where I sit. My joy comes from doing the job.
Mm.
So I'm on set, I'm with these people, we're creating this thing together. That's my gift, right? That's the present that I've been given. After that, my mentality is it is none of my business.
Wow.
I Because when I watch something that I'm in, which is like kind of like the good and the bad of being in something that you love as well, because then you're like, oh man, I really love this show. Now I can't watch it because I'm in it. It's just there's something I don't want to say negative, but something very difficult for me to do as an actor and watch myself in something more than one time, you know?
Really?
So if I've seen it once, I'm not watching it again because I'm not a perfectionist, because to be a perfectionist, you have to have made something perfect, and I've never done that before. But I am very hard on myself. I'm very critical on myself, on my acting as well. So when I'm watching it, I don't get the enjoyment of somebody who is just enjoying the story. I'm thinking, oh wow, you could have done that better. Oh, they used that take. Oh man, like why did I move my hand like that? Like all that kind of stuff. So it takes me out of it.
Oh
But
wow.
when I'm doing it, it's like, oh, this is a dream come true. I'm so happy I get to do this for work. But yeah, I don't watch myself back too much, man. It's not,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good, man.
So you've
I
never
don't enjoy it.
watched All American or Black Mirror in the episodes?
No, I watched them like once,
Just
you
once.
know.
Not forever.
Yeah, like, and a friend of mine who also lives in LA, who was also in the Black Mirror episode with me, she did like a screening, and I went because I'm in it, and she invited me. if she didn't invite me, I would have been happy to miss that screening. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
with All American, we weren't sure if we were going to get a final season of season 8 when season 7 wrapped.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch season 7 until we found out that we were going back, and I was like, okay, no, I should watch it now. I could have gone a long time without watching it because I don't like watching myself.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is, basically. But if yeah, I will, but it's not fun for me, basically. You know,
Gotcha.
is what
So
I'm
is the
trying to say in
comic
a roundabout
different?
way.
Is the comic different though? Seeing the art,
No,
seeing the story,
not at
or the same
all.
thing?
It's polar opposite, man.
Yeah.
I love looking at for me, the comic book is the same as when I finish a drawing.
Mm,
Like, I'm not a comic book artist.
yeah.
I'm very much a noob to the whole drawing thing, which is why I looked for somebody who knew what they were doing.
Right.
But when I do draw, there is this sense of fulfillment of like, look what I just created, you know? I can still see the flaws and stuff, but there's this sense of pride and creative fulfillment of like, I made that. And I get the exact same feeling when I see the completed book of one of the issues. Or even when he sends me when we're past the sketch stage and we're into the inking stage and it's really coming alive, that's when I'm like, ooh, gets me excited and like gets me back into like writing, like, oh, what's gonna happen next, you know? So it's the complete opposite, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, acting is the doing, and the comics and drawing, the it's done,
Yeah.
and being proud of that. You created something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I've had a few other people that come on the show and they do write scripts. Can you walk me through the? It's very difficult, man, and there's a lot of like disappointment because I think the majority of scripts that get out there in the universe just they
Don't
don't
get made.
yeah, they just don't go very far, right? And it's not
Yeah.
because not all of them are bad. Some of them I'm
No,
sure are
not at all.
bad. It's a lot of good stuff, but for whatever reason, schedules, whatever it is, it just doesn't happen. Is
Yeah.
there like how do you overcome that kind of disappointment, or you're on to the next thing and you don't even worry about whatever happens to the script that you just wrote?
Um, there are I've written a lot of scripts. There are two scripts that I was so confident and so passionate about, that I tried to, get it in front of the right people. Even at my stage, I couldn't get my foot in the door. It was more. I don't want to say it was more difficult, but for me, it seemed a lot more difficult to get something made than to get cast in something. And
Wow.
to get cast in something is incredibly difficult. So, which is why kind of We Who Remain kind of happened, was that I knew that I know the walls and the barriers you got to break down to get something created as a TV show or a film. And unless you know the right people or have done something in a film festival before, and even that's not like a guarantee that it's going to get made, then it's highly unlikely that. And it sounds so depressing and dark, but um it's just really, really hard, especially now that a lot of studios don't really want to take risks,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is why you get people hunting for IP, and IP is the new like gold rush in the industry. Um, there aren't a lot of neons or A24s that are
Yeah.
willing to take the risk on brand new ideas, you know? There are a lot of um there are a lot of other ways, like self-funding a project, you know? I think it's just the amount of work that goes into doing an independent film yourself and putting it in film festivals kind of puts a lot of people off, especially if all they want to do is write, you
Yeah.
know? I feel like a lot of writer directors have a lot more success because they don't wait for anybody.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's probably the best way. And then also these days, that technology is just so readily available for everybody, you know? I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of the film, but there was a film that won at Sundance Film Festival, and it was completely shot on iPhone.
Yeah, I did read
So
something about that. It was recent,
yeah,
the last like year or two.
maybe they did it again, but this happened like a few years back. This was like before COVID.
Oh, well, okay, maybe I'm thinking too.
Yeah. And that just speaks to how you really, as long as you have a good story and a somewhat decent execution, you don't need like a fuck ton of money. You really don't.
Yeah,
Um, but it just like for writers who only want to write, I'd say find a director to partner up with, and just kind of make it yourself. Don't wait for people.
yeah,
Just don't wait. Just create, man. Like if you can, I know it's difficult for people with 9 to 5s and stuff. But yeah, just try and create something, you know. And YouTube is your friend. Like how many every year I feel like I'm hearing about more people who start on YouTube and then
yeah.
have gone on to like what was that film called from the Rucka Brothers? Um Damn. It was set in Australia and they
Yeah.
were all being possessed, but the possessions were like a drug. Oh man, that film was amazing. But yeah, they started on YouTube. A bunch of people. The
Yeah.
Backrooms is getting a live action or a A24 film now or a TV show. I can't remember what it was.
Talk to me.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, exactly.
yeah,
Like there's definitely hope and there's definitely a way. You just have to know that you really want it
yeah, yeah.
because it's the one of the most difficult things to do. 1000%. Yeah.
I feel like
Sorry, I just TED talks that whole thing.
no, I love it, man. I think it gives a lot of insight into the industry of how difficult it is. Like when you see a film, how rare that is that that film made it to that point. I don't
Yeah,
think people realize how many ideas come to a table and how little come
yeah,
off that table to be produced into film or TV. It's a lot
100%.
of amazing ideas, and I feel like we're going to see a lot more of the Bloomhouse and the A24s just kind of pop up with
I
funding.
hope so.
I think so. I think people want it.
Yeah,
Again, not to talk negative, but I feel like just Hollywood in general is in a rut right now, and I do think this whole idea of going after IP or bringing out part two and part three and part four of a film, like I feel
mm,
like people are kind of a little bit burnt out and they want new ideas, but
mm,
because there's this lack of desire to take too much risk because the cost is
yeah,
just, I mean, there's a lot of like really good reasons probably not to. We're just not getting a lot of stories that are unique. Um,
yeah.
so what was the
Uh,
Chalamet one with the table tennis, the ping
Marty
pong?
Supreme, Marty
Oh, that was
Supreme.
amazing, man.
Yeah, we got Sinners. Sinners
Yes,
was
Sinners
incredible,
won
you
everything.
know?
It won every award there is to win, as it should.
Yeah. So, and it was amazing. Even one battle after another. Like we need more
Mhm.
original ideas, I feel. And I say that as somebody who loves like some IP stuff, you know.
Sure, for
I
sure.
love Marvel, I love DC, I love what they're doing with Game of Thrones. Like Night of the Seven Kingdoms was amazing.
So good.
um like IP is great, but I feel like if there's a balance of bringing on some new voices and some new ideas, like the way Ryan Coogler, like the director of Sinners, he started on Fruitvale Station, which was an independent film,
That's great.
and that was incredible.
Yeah.
Like we need to give more people more chances to tell different kind of stories, I feel. Yeah, for
That might
sure.
be one of the most innovative creators and directors in film, especially with the deal that he got in order to
Oh
protect
yeah,
IP. And I mean, I think you're gonna see a lot more of that come forward too, because I think he set a standard
he
for
did.
oh yeah, I
He
think
did. I
yeah,
think Ben Affleck and Matt Damon did something similar with their Netflix film that just came out, right? Yeah,
yeah,
Coogler's he wasn't the first. I think Tarantino did it first, but yeah, everybody cared when he did it for some reason. They were like, "Whoa, that's different."
exactly, yeah. Frozen can't wait for season 4 next month.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, From is great. Love From. I love that it's got the guy from Lost in it, and it
Yes.
feels like a Lost TV show. It could like be a continuation as well.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love
Yeah, From's great.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a different world, man. But I love that although you're not searching for that I don't know how to explain it, but almost that joy from seeing yourself on film that you do find it in comic books.
Yeah,
I
man.
love that,
Yeah.
man, because it is pretty cool to have this idea, have a third party, sometimes you've never met before, put those ideas
Yeah.
into a visual, and then for you to grab that and look at it for the first time, you're like, oh
Yeah.
goodness, man, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it feels good, man. It feels really good. I'm gonna be making a lot more. So this is just the beginning, man, for sure.
Well, you're already ahead of the game, man. If you have two complete and you're already working on 3 and 4, I think you're doing
Yeah.
well.
That's
Jose.
crazy.
You're on it, my friend. You are on it, man.
Thank you.
So
Thank
happy
you.
for you, my friend. So happy, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Are you hitting a bunch of YouTube to get the word out?
No, I tried being a vlogger years ago. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. I've tried YouTube so many times. I tried being a vlog like during the David Dobrik times
Yeah.
when he was like really doing it. He inspired me to like try and daily vlog. And I was in London and like a bunch of my friends just didn't want to be on the vlogs. And you can't do a Dobrik style vlog if your friends aren't in it. So
No,
that got canned. I tried to do a skate vlog. I tried to do an art vlog, and my heart's not in it, man. And I can't do things my heart's not in. I just felt like I was forcing it, you know? But yeah, I'm just gonna be pushing it on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I'm not really big on social media. Like I don't really know how to. I'm an old millennial. I remember going outside and you go home when the street lights come on. You know what I mean? Like the social things is it's still difficult for me, but I'm just gonna be posting stuff on there and just seeing what happens, you know. Hopefully people resonate and share and like and all that good stuff, you know.
I love it, man. You mentioned skating a couple times, man. Where did that passion start in your life?
I started around the same time as comic books for me. Yeah. I actually started playing it was like roller hockey, ice hockey when
Mm-hmm.
I was like pee-wee. And then my dad was like, you can't play this anymore. It's too aggressive and it's too violent. So I started doing aggressive inline skating. But then the kids that I was skating with, like doing these tricks, they were skateboarders and they were like, oh, so you're cool, but if you want to keep hanging out with us, you're gonna have to start skateboarding because this ain't it. I was like what?
A dart in the
What
heart,
do you,
man.
yeah, what do you mean? So peer pressure got me into skateboarding.
Yeah.
And then I was playing Tony Hawk's a lot as well, and I just fell in love with it. And I've been a skateboarder ever since. I only started like snowboarding when I got to LA,
Oh,
and that's a new love of mine. I'm sad that I discovered it while my knees are 37 years old, but I'm still on those mountains, man.
that's awesome, man. You have a
Yeah.
favorite skate brand growing up?
Skate brand growing up was ES.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys say it. Yeah, ES or is it S? I always used to say ES.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm not gonna lie, when Nike SB got involved, I was a sucker for it. I loved it. You know, they had all the best. All my favorite skaters went to Nike SB, so I was like, cool,
Yeah.
valid. You
I
know,
guess.
Sean Malto, Paul Rodriguez, Nigel
Yeah,
Houston, all of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
I
about
mean,
you? You skate?
I did. I'm 50 now, man. So my wife,
Okay.
I have a skateboard. I have a primitive skateboard, but I'll ride
Okay.
it to get to the mail or something like that. But growing up, I had
Cruise,
a half
cruise.
pipe in my backyard. I had,
Oh shit.
yeah, we were into it, man. I skated for
That's
something like
dope.
15 years. I love it. To this
Damn.
day, like half my Instagram is just skate videos, man. It's just, I
Sick,
love it,
sick,
man.
sick.
But
You know
yeah,
about the PSL? You seen the PSL?
no, what's that?
So PSL is this new thing that Mike Mo invented, which is the Professional Skateboard League, right? So instead of like the regular contest setup, they picked like I think it's like 8 pros or something, and those pros have a draft and they'll pick their favorite skaters to form teams.
Oh, wow.
So Nigel Houston's team's called the Soldiers.
Oh, Nigel.
Um, Chris Jocelyn's team's called the Wolverines, like stuff like that. And they set it up like a basketball or a baseball game. So people who don't know skateboarding can just watch and understand what's going on. It's like a big team game of skate down a double set of stairs.
That's
It's so much fun to watch, man. I think you should get into that if you
PSO.
like skating.
Oh, I do. PSO, right?
PSL.
Oh,
PSL,
PSL.
Professional Skateboard League. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking it up. Okay, I found it. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
fun. I'm gonna be at the finals. I got my ticket already.
dude,
That's gonna be fun.
is it in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming up, right?
Yeah, March 28th, I believe. Yeah.
March 7th. There's an event too. It says. I don't know
Yeah, they
where.
have an event every week.
Really, I definitely got
Yeah.
to. How did I not know this, man?
Yeah, it's growing, man.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I mean, when I did it, it was. I mean, Pal Peralta was everything, right? Steve Caballero,
Yeah, the goats, the
Tony Hawk,
legends.
the legends, man.
Yeah.
Those are my guys, man. So
Yeah.
the twist and like it blew all
Ooh.
our minds, man. When we're
Bob Burnquist, Bucky
Bob
Lassick, Chad Muska.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
those are the
The
days, man.
OGs. Yeah.
I can't believe Tony
That's
Hawk's
dope.
like 60 something. He still gets on the half pipe.
That's
That's crazy.
crazy.
I
That is
think he did like a
insane.
knee replacement too, or something.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's still on there, man. I think Bob Burnquist still skates like that too.
Really?
Rodney Mullen is still incredible. Yeah. Dope skaters.
There was that skater, I think Matt Hawkins for H Street. You remember him?
No.
One of the
I don't
best
recall.
street skaters. At the time, he was by far the best. I think it was Matt Hawkins, Matt something. Let me look it up real quick.
Matt Hawkins.
Street skater.
That might have been before my time, man.
maybe, but yeah, I thought his name was. Well, remember Tony Magnuson?
No.
So
that
he
name don't ring a bell
started
either.
H Street, and at one time, H Street blew up. And this is probably 80s, maybe early 90s, and then it died real quick, man. It was kind of sad.
Yeah. I started skating like mid 90s.
Oh, okay. I can't
mid to late 90s.
Yeah. Those are the days, bro. But they, like when it came to street skating, they have a few videos. There's a documentary called the H Street documentary. You could probably find it online. Check it out. Those guys did things, just street skating that changed it forever, man.
Okay, right. So they changed the game of like street skating to what it is today.
For sure. Especially
I'll check
how
it out.
they videotaped it all. But yeah, check it out. I think it's called the H Street Story or something like that. But it's pretty
H Street Story. Yeah, I'm gonna peep that. Check it out.
Yeah, check it out, Osy, man. Well, my friend, I am happy for you, man. I am excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're close to 1,000 by now of downloads and views. But just crazy. Let me see if I can just see real quick because you were killing it.
Thank you.
Remain. Let's see. 1,000 views.
What? 1,000 views? That's crazy.
And 601 people have put it on their shelf, meaning it's like their library that they've created. They want to be.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. I'm so grateful,
my friend. That is insane.
Wow. That's that. Oh, I can't even wrap my head around it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That's what it's all about, my friend. That's what it's all about.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. And thank you for having me on your platform as well, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime, man. When you have 2 and 3 come out, man, I'd love to have you back. And
for sure.
Article's still coming out. We could talk a little bit more. Obviously, don't want to give too much away because it's only been out for 24 hours. But at that time, we could talk about issue 1.
Yeah, I'm down.
And all that good stuff, man.
There'll be a lot more that we can talk about without spoiling anything when issue 2 and 3 come out. So I'd love to come back when arc 1 is completely done.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
it was
that'd be dope.
You, man. Congratulations on your success, and
thank you.
Have the rest of your week, my friend.
Thank you. You too, man. God bless. And then send me some info about your comic as well, please, so we can do a little tradesies.
Well, hang tight real quick. I'll say bye to everybody in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us today. As always, we appreciate your support. Get over there to Global Comics. Make sure that you read We Who Remain. 1,000 people have already done it before you if you haven't done it yet. So get over there. Let's see if we can't get Osy's title to like 10 grand in the next month. That'd be amazing.
That'd be crazy. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Talk soon.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.